Yeah! Let me tell you something. In your thought, in your head, and in your mind. In your thought, in your head, and in your mind. Episode 144.
Episode
144.
All right, look, check it out. Tonight, I want to go ahead and say, first and foremost, any one of you, you know what, I'm going to say it like this. To be transparent, some people have been writing me and commenting and even writing me in direct messages on how they're telling me the good stuff that they hear from my videos, certain things I'm talking about, certain things they needed to hear, and that is very awesome. So to those people and anybody else for the first time, or any reason, any situation that you're in, I want to go ahead and tell you that it will pass, it will be good. Don't beat yourself up. Sometimes the decisions that we make hurt us, but it's for our own good. So if you're in one of those situations, or any situation for that matter, where you're second guessing yourself, you think that you're doing something that is bad and detrimental to your own, really think about it. Now, it may be, I'm not going to say that I don't have the answers, but it may be one of those things where you are being, irrational. But I think for most of us, it's the feeling that we do something we don't want to is what hurts. Because it goes against what we want to do, but we know that it helps. It's going to help us. You dig what I'm saying? I think if you find this confusing, it must not be for you. But if you're really those people, I think you understand what I'm saying. Don't give up is essentially what I'm doing, and saying don't let other people's thoughts get in your head. Because I'm going to tell you something. It's going to be very blunt, and I'm going to end up cussing right here. But what other people eat don't make you shit. You see what I'm saying? I'm not trying to be funny. I'm being real, because at the end of the day, I still have my mentality. This is what I want to show you, but I know my hustle. I know my muscle. I have to do that. We're going to get tussled every time we turn around. We're going to go through ups and downs and twists and turns. Something I say all the time because it's true. But the thing that I'm learning, and I want to reciprocate back to other people, is simply, it's how you reply. I don't have the answers. I don't want to change your life. I'm not saying do what I do or you're not doing anything. I'm not saying none of that. What I'm simply trying to convey to people, or shall I say, let people know, is what worked for me, I want to let you know, because it might work for you. And then you might go, Big Beard, what do you mean? What worked with you? What is he talking about? Letting go and letting God, letting go and letting things happen, letting go and not letting these things that I can't let go overtake my life, even though I'm still struggling. I struggle to let certain things go, because sometimes, we feel like, oh, I'm going to get the last word. You done me wrong. I'm going to do you wrong. You get me wrong. I'm going to be the better person. Oh, I'm going to, and we don't ever do it. We end up causing chaos. I know for me, but I know that that's a universal thing. A lot of us are fighting. I don't care who you are. It makes it look good. I don't care if you put on tons of makeup or wear no makeup. I don't care if you wear a suit or you look homeless. I don't care if you live in a mansion or a trailer or a car or a scooter. I don't care. We are all human. Our lifestyles might be different than some, but we all have the same lives. You dig? Your lifestyle can be different for somebody, but have the same lives. You know what I'm saying? And it's morbid to think about this stuff. It's almost melancholy and morbid, and a lot of definitions and meaning can happen, but it's like, wow, it's just crazy. Everybody's going through something is what I'm trying to say. So why should we wonder what it is? Because my something don't outweigh your something. My bad is not trying to outweigh your bad. I'm not trying to do, I grew up a way worse way than you did. Well, I bet you didn't do this. Well, I bet you never done. Who cares about comparison? That means you're competitive. What did you learn? Was it bad? Was it not bad? Could it turn into something worse if you didn't stop it? Were you seeing you going down the wrong way? People are struggling. It's that time of the year. It's cold. It's windy. Speaking of cold, you've probably been seeing my breath here. It's early. What time is it? Well, here it's 8 o'clock. It's 8:17 in the morning. We got a little overcast and chilly day this morning. I've been known to record and do it 3 and 4 in the morning, and then that's chilly, but I still do it. I'm not trying to get sidetracked. I just want to take that moment and tell you, be kind. I'm serious. I am noticing that there's people who are not kind, right? We'll say it like that. I've noticed that there's people all over the globe, and especially just my walk of life and in and out of the town that I live in. I notice that people always seem to be in a rush, or people look at you like something's wrong, or look at you like you're wrong, or to me, I mean, maybe that's not hitting, dead, exactly what's going on with people, but it gets me thinking, why is everybody walking around with the attitude? You woke up that morning and you chose violence, whether it was a flipping somebody off or, shaking your fist at them or whatever the case may be. I have noticed here lately, and I know we have that everywhere. You can say Big Beard, it's everywhere, man. It is. So in that case, on the worldwide, everywhere level, on the spectrum real quick, why? Why? Is it because it's cold? Because in the summertime, they say people go crazy because it's hot. I believe that. Full moon. They always got something to blame something on something while people act a certain way. Bottom line is some people are just assholes. Some people are just mean. Some people just want to see you fail because they've never succeeded. That's just how people do. They're competitive in their own right. In their own like, oh, you know what? I can't do this. You know what? I'm not doing that. People are mean and competitive for no reason. I told somebody recently the worst thing that we could ever do in our lives is think that you will be treated nice just because you're a good person. I know this. No, I can't speak for everybody. You don't know anything. I always picture like somebody saying some rebuttal or something smart when I talk. And if that's you, then, I'm sorry. Change the damn tape. Don't worry about what I'm doing. Change the channel. Because I'm not trying to compete. I'm just speaking from my perspective. You dig? But I'm essentially speaking for all. And I'm sure some people go, you can't speak for me. Okay, I won't. Maybe you're still struggling. Maybe you haven't been out of a funk. But I tell you one thing we all have in common. I don't care who you are watching. I don't care what you're doing watching. I don't care where you're at watching this. I'm going to tell you something we all have in common. We want to survive, and we want best for our kids. If you're a carer, if you are the caring person, if you really truly care, that's what you want. You want the betterment for your family. Survival of the fittest? Yeah, you could say that, but in a sense, it ain't. Be kind. I can't stress it enough. That's on my brain. Period. Point blank. People, I'm just seeing it more and more. Am I struggling? Am I doing things? Yeah. I told you earlier, we all do it, whether you admit it or not. I don't think that my struggle is less or more than yours, or yours is more or less than mine. I just think I want to learn from my struggles. I want to learn. For the past 11, almost 12 years of my life, I have been trying. Maybe we can always try harder, but I have been trying and trying and trying. And I've done things that I thought I'd never do. from working 6 years straight, whatever, at least a steady job, I've worked, but to losing weight, to quitting smoking. I'm coming up almost on a year of sobriety from alcohol. Somebody told me one time, like, we didn't think you ever had a problem with it. I'm like, Well, I respect that because that means, see, what I heard when somebody says, we didn't think you had a problem with alcohol, what I hear is, damn, I hit it good, didn't I? I made it look good, didn't I? Now, I don't believe when somebody says they're trying to get better from an addiction, whether it be alcohol or crack, which I've never done. I believe that you don't tell them, you didn't have a problem, I think you're fine. No. Because usually you can't get the person to admit they're doing nothing wrong. And see, I talked to myself and evaluated myself and looked at me and looked at what was going on in my life. I'll tell you something real quick. For 6 months almost, it was about 5.5, for real, I questioned, was I drinking too much? Was this thing really getting in my life? Was this getting on things and situations that it shouldn't be getting on, in? Is it really controlling me? Is it really happening? And I kept saying, I'm telling you, it was a long 5.5 months. I kept saying, nah, I would justify why it was all right that I was drinking. I'd justify why I was doing things. And what people didn't know is they were like, well, you say you only drink and hung out with your friends on Fridays. We did. We have the BIC crew we throw together. We all hang out. We've hung out for 4.5, 5 years, whatever it's been, 4 years, whatever it's been. And some longer, way longer. But I would only drink with them on Friday, but I would take a 12-pack to friend's house on a Friday. And I drank, hang with them, crash all night, or get up. And usually I didn't drink and I stayed long enough to be sober, if you will. That's another thing we'll talk about. And I would leave. Like, I wouldn't drink 3 hours before I left type stuff. Nonetheless, few far and in between, I started looking at things. What they didn't know was not only was I drinking that 12-pack on a Friday, but I had 2 or 3 12-packs during the week. Sometimes I'd have beer in my fridge and I'd leave here and still talk and get a 12-pack so I could have beer when I came back. Like constantly having a rotation. And what's funny is I think more people saw me that Blake. Now, this is something that's going to get you. See, when you change, people got so used to seeing the person that you're coming from, that's the person they expect you to constantly be. And they didn't know you were always in a drunken stupor, just enough. Where you thought you could drive, or you thought you could tell a joke, or you thought you could drive, or you thought you could tell a joke, or you made people laugh, and it might have worked for me. Might have worked for you, maybe working now. But things happened to me in those 5 months I was saying that got me going. I questioned myself every other week, every other month, and then this one thing happened. I questioned myself every other week, every other month, and then this one thing happened that just put the icing on the cake. Boom. And I'm glad it did. I hate that things happen, but for me personally, I was telling somebody the other day, they were asking the pros and cons real quick, the pros and cons of having a kid. And I got to think, everybody's laughing about this. We were at a church event, and we're asking these questions on these cards and playing this game, and everybody's laughing, pros and cons of kids. And I go, the pros is mental health. And I'm sure they looked at me like, what are you talking about? I'm like, well, at those times where I was alone with my kid and thought I was going crazy because they're crying or you don't know what's wrong with them or they're pooping and peeing and, you're going crazy, especially the first time parents, back when I didn't have a beard, no hair. The mental health part, it helped me to grow. Now, you may once again go, what? Now I told them, I'm going to tell you what I told them. What, if I didn't go through these bad times that I thought was bad, I wouldn't know to be good. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be a better person if the bad didn't happen to make me change. I know that sounds deep and sounds kind of crazy. I think I lost them when I said that. I'm not sure. The way they reacted, nobody's ever said things like that. But was it easy, though? I could have went on and on and on. No, it wasn't easy. I never thought that this is happening because it's teaching me a lesson. This is happening because this, I never. No, after your third kid. Now, granted, I didn't have them, even though I look like I've got a kid now. After my third kid, you kind of start looking at things different. If you have three or more, or two, or you have children, period, you understand. But the more you have, and if you're one of those people who have one or two, that's cool. You got 3, 4, you got a little more. It's different, period. Every one of them's got a story. But mentally, it changed me. I went through some times, up late. Obviously, as we all do, we get up late, we stay up late. You get up and go to work at 6 when you've been up with your kids since 3, who went to bed at midnight, who actually was coughing at noon the next day, who actually was messed up and had diarrhea at 8 that morning. I got you. I understand. I know I just look like I eat small children, but I don't. Little woodland creatures I eat is actually because they're good if you put mushrooms. I'm kidding. But I remember all these times. See, the sense of humor has came. One time I didn't have a sense of humor or even try. But the pros and cons, just throwing that out there, that we were talking about that. Mental health. So if that's you, if you're struggling with your mental health, look at things around you. Look around you and start to say, does it make you think or does it irritate you? Is it something that can help you? Have you been overlooking what you need to overlook and what you need to do? I don't know. Look in yourself, find yourself, be true to yourself. Nobody can be harder on you than you. I want you to understand that. The fact is, nobody's going to come and help you out of a funk that you're in. Mentally, nobody can get in your head and make you do different but you. When it comes down to it, it's you. Now, if you break the law and you do something dumb and you're arrested with the police in prison, that's different. But it was still you that determined if you got in there or not. If you did it, it's you. I've said all I can say. I wish you all the best of luck. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, happy New Year. Stay blessed. I hope you continue to stay blessed. What are those 3 words that I say every time? Let me see. Oh, guys, love, peace, chicken grease. Thanks for watching.
Presentations.